That we get women out of hospital after they've given birth more quickly than virtually every other country out of 70, including very poor countries and very rich countries like ours. Even women in Liberia have longer in hospital than they do here. Is that necessarily a good or a bad thing? Catherine Dawson is from Devon Antenatal. Hello, Catherine. Oh, sorry, Catherine, there you are. Hello, Catherine.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Now, I had a spokesman from the Royal College of Midwives earlier today telling me that whilst we need more community midwives, the service provided currently is marvellous. There's no need for women to stay in hospital longer than they do now. And anyone who wants to has their wishes accommodated anyway. And at the same time, another spokesperson for the same organisation is quoted as saying that the system is under pressure and women are being sent home earlier than is ideal. In your experience, which of the two is right?
I think it's actually a fair mixture of the two. I think that midwives are under pressure. And I think that, I speak to women at reunions, and it comes up every time about how did you feel when you had your baby? How did you feel postnatally? And did you feel well supported? And I think that this just highlights the NICE guidelines, which do suggest that their postnatal cares need to be discussed with women, and the health and well-being of the woman should be the priority. Keeping women in hospital too long isn't shown to be beneficial to women if they are well and are ready to go home. It does increase the risk of infection.
So when all these women are reminiscing about what it was like afterwards, you're saying you get a full spread of views from "I couldn't have been looked after better" to "I was left all at sea."
Absolutely, yeah.
And is there any common thread for the ones who had a good experience and the ones who had a bad one?
I think the ones that tend to have the better experiences tend to be the ones that don't go into hospital at all and actually have their babies at home.
Really?
Absolutely. I think that they get a lot of support from their health team, from their community midwifery team, and they seem to be the ones that have a more positive birth outcome and feel far more positive about their experience.
And that's not just because they're surrounded by friends and family in their own bed and the kitchen's just downstairs and they can ask for their favourite drink or whatever, which their partner will know how to make. It's also because are you saying we're in fact throwing more resources at those sorts of births than hospital births?
I think we throw a huge amount of resources at women who are low risk, and I think there's a huge amount of evidence that says that birth is a low risk event unless told otherwise. I think there is plenty of evidence to suggest, particularly for second and subsequent births, that there is no increased chances of a positive outcome being in hospital than being at home.
So you're saying, are you saying that we're wasting huge amounts of money under the current system, the number of women who have their babies in hospitals?
I don't think it's a waste of resources. I think that there needs to be a better education for women antenatally whilst they're pregnant, to discuss and explore their options and what they would like to do and where they would like to give birth.
But you think if we did that, a higher percentage would opt for a home birth?
Quite possibly,
right.
Yes. I think birth is given in a picture of being a risky thing and you must be in hospital. The right place for a woman to give birth is where she feels safe and where she feels supported. And if that's at home with her partner able to make her a perfect cup of tea and her favourite snacks, or having somebody around her where she feels absolutely safe, then that's where she needs to be.
And would that save a lot of money? Or if you're saying that we're very good at supporting home births, perhaps better than hospital births, would that actually cost more? How do the figures stack up with a hospital birth and a home birth? Do we know?
Well, I would say the home birth would be cheaper.
Right, even with a lot of people there to look after you, even if we gave a Rolls-Royce service at home, we can do that for the same or less than a not always satisfactory experience in a hospital, you think?
Well, when you have a home birth, you would have 2 midwives present with you at the time of birth, and then you would have the same postnatal care as you would for a woman that's just been discharged from hospital, with a community midwife coming in every day. I can't imagine in hospital that you'd only have 2 midwives having all your care. If you're in hospital, you've got the food, you've got the resources you're using. There's more chance of needing pain relief, which of course is an expense. Women who choose to be at home have limited pain relief. They tend to often give birth in the water. They can use gas and air, whereas the risk of intervention is increased once you're in a hospital.
So it's a win-win. It's better for everybody, and it doesn't even cost us any more. It might well cost us less. This is where the emphasis should be.
It's better better for everybody if that's where the woman wants to be.
Yes.
If a woman is pushed into being at home, then that is not best for anybody, because chances are she'll feel uncomfortable and she will then be transferred into hospital. But if that's where she wants to be and she has the resources and the support to make that happen, then I would say that's probably a win-win.
Well, that's really interesting, because I hadn't really thought that this discussion would be going down that road, and we can now ask people not only whether they felt hassled out of hospitals too quickly, or whether the service was great in the hospital, or how much support they got afterwards, but also whether they felt there was a level playing field and they could freely choose one or the other, or whether they were given enough information about one or the other, or of course if they've had one of each, how they felt the two services compared. Is the crux of all this not enough midwives, and if so, what are we to do about that?
I think there have been a cut of midwives, particularly for postnatal care. They are trialling in some areas having a postnatal clinic, as opposed to midwives coming to your home to deliver your postnatal care. Some women are opting to go back to the hospital to have their postnatal checks within the clinics, and that's been made quite clear that is due to cuts and midwives being stretched. I think we do need to have more midwives. We do need to have an increase in antenatal education in the first place, so women are making informed decisions based on evidence and statistics. Women, if they have the option, they'll make decisions based on what they want and not what they feel they have to do.
Very interesting to talk to you. Thank you so much for broadening the discussion out. Catherine Dawson from Devon Antenatal. Well, we've got lots to ask you now. Were you hustled out of the hospital? Have you had a home birth and a hospital birth? And if so, how were you treated comparatively on those two occasions? Did you have enough information about the possibility of a home birth? And are you of the generation that stayed in hospital a long time, and was it a silly waste of time? And like our earlier caller, who was there for 10 days with her first one, and that shrank over the years to 1 day for her last one, were you saying on day 2 or day 3, why can't I just go home and get on with it? 0345